If you've struggled with stress, balance, or burnout, and simply feel discouraged or even defeated, and if you're ready to move from force to flow and enjoy ultimate Zen success in your career, health, or relationships, then the Zen Success Show is for you. Your host, Carissa Sims, is an entrepreneur, corporate consultant, best-selling author, meditation teacher, and healer who has found her own Zen success. Here's your host, Carissa Sims.
Welcome to this week's episode of Zen Success. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Melissa Jean Rod. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Teresa. How are you? And did I say that right?
Good. Carissa. Yeah, that's
Carissa.
fine.
As I said it, I thought that is so wrong.
Women's intuition. It's all good.
Yes.
So, Melissa Jean Rod, author, wife, mom, and honey to her grandsons, her debut book, The Daddy Files, dives into her decades-long hunt for the truth about her father, complete with family secrets, DNA plot twists, and a mom who once claimed she'd been switched at birth. With humor, grit, and a little Texas sass, Melissa shows how forgiveness and God's love can turn even a Lifetime movie mess into a story worth telling. I know I'd like to see this movie. This is exciting. And here's a testimonial, okay? Melissa writes with raw honesty and spiritual insight. This book reminds us that our hope isn't in the answers we chase, but in God who walks with us. So that's a beautiful testimonial by Kim Mossaman. All right. So happy that you're here with me.
Thanks. I am so excited to be here too.
Where are you connecting from?
Actually, from Willis, Texas. It's
Okay.
just north of Houston.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. I have been to Houston a couple times. So wonderful. Your life story has more plot twists than a daytime soap opera.
It really
At
does.
one point, did you look at your family tree and think, this needs a flow chart?
Yeah, actually, I have always joked that my life is better than any soap opera. Why would I watch them? Because they're boring compared to my life. And
I'm
I
sure.
do. Anytime I start telling somebody about my family tree or my family in general, they get this confused look and they're like, wait a minute. And they'll ask a question. I'm like, yeah, I know. You need a flow chart. Let's get a pen and paper because it gets so confusing. It's bad.
So,
So bad.
so yeah. When did you discover the truth about your biological father?
I was 45
Okay, and how old are you
and
now? Like, how long ago was that?
I'm 57.
Okay, so
So it's
12
only been
years ago.
12 weeks. But yeah.
And I would like to say that you look amazing, forever
Thanks.
young for that age. I'm
I
52
have
and I'm like,
good
what?
genetics. Yeah. My granny, she looked young forever.
Oh, really? It's
In
in the
fact,
genes. Awesome.
yeah, it's in the genes for sure
Uh-huh.
because she was in her 30s, I think, and still telling people she was 19. And I'm like,
And
oh,
they believed
granny.
it.
Yeah, they did. It was
Okay,
so
now we'll go
sad.
back to the question. So this is you did
Yes.
discover this 12 years ago. Were you like a little
Yes.
detective doing research?
I was because mom, she did. When I asked her, her first response was that the military had it wrong because I saw his blood type, the men that I call my fake birth father, uh, his blood type on a military discharge paper, and I knew he couldn't be my father. So when I asked mom,
Wow. Were you looking
she
for that?
said,
Or you just,
"No, I wasn't.
oh,
I
that
was
was an accident
working
looking at the blood
on
type. Okay.
that was an accident. Yes, I was actually working on his family tree, and he was dead already." And so it was a total accident that I found out. and asked mom. She said that the military had it wrong. I'm like, no, that's life and death. They're not going to mess that up. So
Oh,
then the
yeah, they're
next
not
one
messing up the
was,
blood type. No.
oh. So the next one was that I was switched at birth. And I'm like, mm. And
That's so
that's
comforting,
even,
Mom.
yeah, really, well, it's even funnier because then she goes on to say, yeah, I was pregnant with a boy. They told me that the whole time. So how did I not know that you weren't mine? Okay, mom, the plumbing's different. They're not going to mix that up. They're just really not. The doctors know the difference between a boy and a girl baby. Promise. So, yeah,
Was she
it was
implying
pretty,
that she was not your mom?
yes, she flat
Oh,
out said it.
God.
And
That's
she acted
awful.
devastated. Yeah. Finally, after a month of it, I was like, okay, mom, you got to stop because if you stick to this, that means I lose my whole family, my whole identity. I lose granny,
Yes.
granddaddy, your brothers, your sister. I lose everybody, not just Alan's side of the family. I'll lose everybody. And that's when she finally said, okay, maybe you weren't switched at birth. Maybe it's somebody else. Like, yeah, no
Oh,
kidding.
yeah. Now, I would just out of
Yeah.
curiosity, you call him your
Mhm.
fake father. Did you guys have a good
Yeah.
relationship? Did he treat you like his daughter?
I actually did not know him growing up. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
meet him for the first time until I was 21. So I only
Oh,
knew
okay.
him for 10 years before he died. And
Oh,
we
got
didn't
it.
have
When
a
you
good
were older.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
So,
sense. Did you have a dad
yeah,
growing up? A father
I
figure?
did. Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Okay.
She remarried when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And the dad who raised me, he was great. I didn't appreciate him, of course. I do now. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I had a stepdad. I mean, gosh, I knew him since I was 3, and I was awful to him. I treated him like crap, and
yeah,
he's a good man. He's a really
yeah.
good man. It's interesting. But so you discover the truth about your biological father. Like, what happened?
Well, when she stuck to the story of switch to birth, and then she came up with another, I know it's so good.
Another
She-
story, then you're like, okay, I'm not believing you anymore. Anything that comes out of your
Pretty
mouth.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
pretty much. So then I told her, I said, I don't care how I was conceived. It was the late 60s. It could have been an orgy, a one night stand, a married man. I didn't give a flip because I wouldn't be
Yeah.
here. And
Yes.
oh,
Gratitude for that.
yeah. So she came up with a story that I kind of believed, but found suspicious because of the previous lies. And but she wouldn't give me a name. All she would say was he was military and blonde and blue-eyed. I'm blonde and blue-eyed. Hello, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's
So
kind of
I
obvious,
played
Mom.
detective.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I had to play detective, and I did. I went so far as to track down her high school boyfriend because, well, she had left Texas where her family was and moved to Montana where I was conceived. And the story about how she had ended up in Montana was that her high school boyfriend's brother suggested she go. So I was trying to track down the brother to talk to him to see if he knew who she hung around with in Montana. But she couldn't remember his last name because the brothers had different last names. So I
Hmm.
tracked down the high school boyfriend.
Okay.
First thing out of his mouth was, what's your birthday? And so I told him,
He thought you might be his. Okay.
yeah, he did. I hadn't even considered him. He wasn't even
Right.
on my list of suspects. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I had to add him and cross him off my list
Okay, so
of
you told him your
possibility.
birthday, and then he's like, no. Okay. All
Right.
right.
So
All
then he shared a lot with me. And so, yeah, that was the beginning of my searching and playing detective. But I, yeah, I joined a Facebook group for the town where the military base was and told names that I knew and the dates that she lived there and asked if anybody remembered her and went from there. And it was a journey for sure. It took 2 years to figure it out.
Okay, two
But
years. So share a little bit about that journey. So you've discovered you have a list. How long is this list of potential fathers?
I need to sit down and count it up because off the top of my head, I don't remember. But I want to say that it ended up being around 6 or 8 that I came up with as potentials.
That is
So,
a lot.
yeah.
Oh my God. And did
And
your mom
well,
know
and
you were
some of
doing
it,
this?
yeah, she did.
Okay.
And she actually stopped talking to me. We went from being best friends, talking all the time,
Oh,
to she didn't talk to me. She didn't answer my phone calls or my text messages for a year. And that hurt.
that's
So
very
my
painful.
dad, yeah, my dad, flip side, he would call me back and was, hey, Missy, you called your mom. What's up? What you need? Or he'd text me back and he and I
Yeah,
got closer through it all. So that was a plus.
that's
But
really sweet, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was or is.
Yeah, yeah, it was, is, yes. Good. So then did you have other father figures in your life growing up?
I did. There was a couple of men at church that were wonderful and stepped up and would give me advice as I needed it or say, hey, you really need to think about this. And they had daughters that were my age. And even if they
Hmm.
didn't verbally, watching how they parented their daughters was wonderful. And they gave
Mm,
me a good eye for what a good dad was.
that's so
So,
sweet.
yeah.
Now, are you going to tell us the answer on this podcast, or do people need to read your book, The Daddy Files? Like, are you going to
Ooh,
leave us hanging and then you find out like the excitement by reading your book, or can we go deeper?
we can go deeper
Okay. You tell me
because,
when to stop.
okay.
Yeah, okay. Because what?
Well, I was going to say, even when I've had people tell me, be careful, don't tell it all. And it's like, I don't, because even when I say what you think is all, I'm like, oh, but there's more. There's so much more in it that
Yeah.
it's
And
like,
it's
yeah,
exciting because it's more detailed in the book too.
yeah, exactly. And I
Mhm.
tell stories from actually from before I was conceived. I mean, I tell stories from my mom when she was living in Montana and when she met the men and when I
Yeah.
was an infant. And so yeah.
So you figured out that she moved to Montana, and so then did it narrow down the geographical area where you thought
Oh
because of
yeah.
your age? Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
And did you
It's
figure out the city and things?
yeah, I knew exactly where she lived and who she was hanging around with, basically. It was military men. She was living right off an Air Force base. Minot Air, ooh, not Minot. That's where my sister lived. It was Glasgow Air Force Base. And so yeah, it it helped narrow and helped keep it small and tight for me,
Okay. Got it.
which because otherwise it would
Was
have been a whole big world.
Yes, yes. And was the point that you couldn't find your father because she was sleeping with multiple partners at the same time?
That was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she probably didn't know exactly.
Yeah, I don't think she knew.
Yeah. And so then that made her uncomfortable and then, put a strain on your
I think
relationship and everything.
I think she was embarrassed and
Yeah.
ashamed of
Hmm.
because my she was 19 and single when she got pregnant with me. It was the
Yeah.
late 60s. And the way she was then and the way she is now is polar opposites. I mean, she is
Opposite.
not the same
Right.
woman that she was then.
Hmm.
None of us are after that long.
Hmm.
And so I think that was a lot of it.
Yeah.
So,
So, okay. So you joined this Facebook group, and did you feel like that was an opening in your detective case?
yeah, I did. And I hoped it would be, I hoped it was going to be more than it was. And unfortunately, it wasn't. It was just a small little dive into it. They weren't much help. They tried to be, but most of them were clueless. So, but
Mm,
they spread the
okay.
word and helped as much as they could.
Oh, got
But
it. So did you actually physically go to Montana to do some of your research?
no, I never did actually, surprisingly
Oh,
enough. I did most of it phone and on the internet.
oh
So
my gosh. Yeah.
I know.
So then did you go through your own healing process during this journey? Did you feel like you had to forgive your mom and your birth dad and everything? So tell me about that.
Yeah. I didn't ever really feel like I had to forgive him, especially once I discovered who it was, because he never knew. So
Okay.
he was as clueless as I was. So there was that. My mom, yeah, I had to forgive her. And it was hard. Some days, I mean, forgiveness isn't a one and done. I realized that it was a daily, sometimes minute by minute occurrence. I would forgive her and then get so angry or so hurt, I'd have to forgive her again. And
Mm.
so it took a while. And it was definitely a process. But it's good now. It's definitely set now.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
in fact, I told her over the summer that it was time she needed to forgive herself and
That's
that
profound.
I had forgiven her and God had forgiven her, but she needed to forgive herself. And she goes, "You've really forgiven me." And I was like, "Yeah." And she started crying and she goes, "You're right." So,
It's time. Because you gave that opening of healing to her because she felt that freedom from your forgiveness was so powerful it
mhm,
broke down her own feelings that she knew she had to forgive herself. And did
right.
she? Did
Think
she
so.
forgive herself?
She hasn't said, and we honestly don't talk about it.
Hey,
So,
I know. I have a mom too. There's a lot of stuff that we just don't talk about that's
yep,
deep.
yep.
Mm.
She does
So did
ask me periodically how the podcasts are going or how the book sales are going, but that's about the extent of it.
okay,
And
okay.
she has read the book, so she knows what I put in it.
Okay, amazing, amazing. And did you have your own family during this time? Did you have a husband and children? Like
Yes.
how
Yeah.
was that? Did you feel like you were getting obsessed with finding out who your dad was and taking away time from the family? Like how was that effect on your family?
Yeah. I was. Yeah, I'm married, got 6 kids, and I was
Oh my
definitely
God, you have
obsessed at
six
times.
kids.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
did. That's okay. And
Wow.
yeah,
Busy
and
lady.
actually, definitely. And actually now I've got 5 grandsons and a sixth that will be here in April. So definitely busy. Um, but at the time, no grandkids at the time. Um, but yeah, I was obsessed, and the kids, talking to the kids now because they're all older now. The youngest is 19, so he would have only been 7 at the time, and he knew what was going on, but didn't fully realize. And the next two youngest would have been uh, 10 and 11 at the time. And I have talked to them about it. And again, they knew, but they didn't realize what all was going on. Now, the oldest two boys, they knew. The oldest one was in college, and the second one was in high school. And I had, when mom was saying that I had been switched during that time, and I hit a wall one night. And it's when I told mom that she had to come, that enough was enough. I couldn't handle that anymore, that it was killing me, that she would rather I would lose my whole family.
Yeah.
And I came home, and my husband was out of town that weekend, and the younger ones were in bed asleep already. And the older two boys were here. They had some friends over. I had gone into my bedroom, and I desperately needed a hug. And I'm a touchy-feely person, but I really needed a hug that night so bad. So I came to my bedroom door, and my bedroom opens into the living room. And I looked out, and I could see both of them. And I said, guys, I need a hug. Could one of you please give me a hug? Or something to that extent. I don't remember exactly the words I used, but whatever I said, I don't know if it was the words I said or my tone of voice, the look on my face. It only took them a few seconds. I honestly don't even remember blinking, and they were there, both of them, wrapping their arms around me, and they both held me, and I lost it. And I sobbed, holding on to them and them holding me. Snot, tears, the whole shebang. And I lost it. And when I mentioned it to them that I was putting that in the book, they're like, I don't really remember that. I remember he hugging you one night, but oblivious teenage boys, they had no clue that it was that bad or that. And I was like, guys, and I was like, oh my God. And so, yeah, but it was a major point for me. And, but yeah,
Mm. Wow. That's
so to
incredible.
me, I was obsessed, and I was focused, and at times too much so, possibly, but they didn't see it. So
Mm.
I hid it well from my kids, is my
And did you
point.
have a job or were you a stay-at-home mom?
Stay-at-home mom.
Well, that's
I
good for six
I've
kids.
I've joked, yeah, no, I'm kidding. I have joked that I'm either a retired nanny, because that's what I was before I got married, or I'm a kept woman. So take your pick.
Yeah, I like retired nanny. That sounds good. I
Yeah.
I love it.
So
I love it.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about family secrets. How wild did things get, and how did you keep your sense of humor? You have this lightheartedness about you.
Well, my theory is you have to be, because if you're doom and gloom, and if you always look at the negative, it will bury you, and you will be miserable, and everybody around you will be miserable. So, yeah, it's I've always been a Pollyanna, glass half full kind of person. So,
Mm, that's wonderful.
yeah,
Well, I think it's helpful that you didn't have to travel. Like you're doing things
yeah,
online through the
yeah,
phone and things. Yeah.
yeah.
What's the most surprising thing people learn when you start sharing your story?
Mm, ooh. Um, I would say the first one usually is that my mom said that I was switched at birth. That's usually the first one. And then um, I guess usually it's just that I'm so calm about it and that I think it's funny.
Okay, awesome.
Uh,
All
yeah.
right, so let's get to the grand finale when you finally found your birth father. How did you
Mhm.
know that it was him? How did you know without a doubt? Did you have research, DNA tests? Like what was the
Yes.
process?
Well, I actually hit a wall, and so I did my DNA with Ancestry and 23andMe. And even then, I only got as close as a second cousin. So I ended up hiring the progenealogists at Ancestry.com to help me. And
Oh,
they were
that's so cool. You can
amazing.
do that.
Yes, you can. And depending on how you look at it, it's expensive or it's not. I looked at it as it wasn't because of what they were doing, and it only took them 6 months. Well, it ended up taking them 7 months. They told me it would take six, but then they even hit a wall at one point and apologized and said it was going to take a little bit longer. And did I want them to continue working on it? I said, yes, continue. You're this close, don't stop. So they did. And they narrowed it down to two brothers who were both dead. Neither of them had any children. So, but yeah, um, I they had a living sister and they gave me all the information and I was able to get in touch with her and the rest of the family and they've been amazing. But through ages and location and all that, and then once they gave me all the information, I knew which one it was. And my dad was actually with me when I got the report. And so I told him, and I didn't say anything to my mom, but he did.
Yeah.
And so she finally, after about 2 weeks, said, so I hear you found out who your dad is. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, what's his name? And I told her, and she goes, oh, well, I called him. And okay, now I left something out here. She always said she didn't know his name. So then when I get the report and I tell her his name, she then goes, oh, but I always called him this. It's like, oh, but you said you didn't know his name.
She did. Yeah. So she did.
Yeah, she did.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um,
So,
so when you went to the sister, at that point, you knew which of her brothers was the father.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And she
And
did too.
she knew. They didn't have any doubt that you were, yeah, their child.
Oh, yeah. And I left out a biggie too.
Okay.
I had a dream 2 weeks before I got the report
Okay.
where I met both men in heaven. And
Oh, that is
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, it was
That's incredible.
amazing. And when I told her about the dream, she pulled out pictures and I was like, yeah, that's, and yeah, it was, yeah, it was, God gave me a wonderful gift.
I believe they visited you
So, oh,
because
I do too.
the pictures, I mean, that's just
Hmm.
too
Yeah, because I
amazing.
had never seen, there was no way I could have known or created it on my own. It was God allowing me to meet them.
So did your mom know all along, or have
I
you
think
never
she did.
asked her that?
I've never asked her because I got tired of the lies.
Yeah, exactly. Why ask? You never know what you're
Yeah,
going to get.
exactly.
She probably had an inkling
Yeah,
based on your age and everything. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um,
Oh, and the other kicker is I look like my aunt, and my youngest son is the spitting image of my uncle, who
your
just like him.
biological uncle from your
Yeah,
biological father that you discovered
father.
later, and then you met. And then does your entire family have a relationship with this family or no? Just you?
No, I'm trying to think. No, my aunt and her two kids,
Uncle? Yeah.
my cousins. Well, my aunt and my cousins have both visited my house, so they've met all my kids and my
Oh,
husband.
amazing.
And then, yeah, and then a couple of my kids have gone with me up to Oklahoma to visit relatives.
Okay.
So, yeah,
So you just say this is like these are new relatives,
yeah.
like how do you introduce them to your kids? Oh, okay, cool. They go
Oh,
with the
just
flow.
they're cousins. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Well, my kids are all adults now, so
do you look like your father or your mother more? Like,
my father.
oh, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, yeah. I look more like my father.
So there's just like no shadow of a doubt or anything.
No. Mm-mm.
And how did you feel? Did you
And
feel a sense of relief and
yes,
happiness? Mm,
yes, very much so.
mm.
And my aunt, she never questioned or doubted. I gave her the report from Ancestry and I gave her the whole story, everything, told her everything. And she never doubted it, but she wanted to make sure that I never doubted it. So she encouraged me to do a DNA test with her to confirm the relationship.
Oh, that's so
She,
sweet of
so we
her to
did.
take the time,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. So we did, and they confirmed it. And so yeah, that was really cool. And then
Wow.
the whole family has been amazing. So
That's so sweet. So tell me about your book, The Daddy Files.
mhm.
Why did you decide to write it? And were you writing it on the way? Were you journaling your
No,
experience, or you went back, and how long did that take?
I wish I had journaled while I was living it. It would have made it so much easier. But I didn't
Yes.
know I was going to be writing it.
Yeah,
No,
you were single
after I had,
focused.
yes, I was. And after I had lived through it and I started sharing what had happened and people were learning about it, I was discovering more women and some men that had gone through similar situations. And they were always so relieved and I don't want to say happy, but it was like a relief to find out that somebody else knew what they were going through and could relate to
Mm.
them and they weren't all alone. So I was like, okay, this is a thing I need to share. Plus, I realized through it all that God was there the whole time if I would have just paid attention. And so I figured I needed to share. It was it was something to share to help others. so that they would know they weren't alone. And
And so,
ironically enough, well, my whole thought process was if it helped one person, it was worth it.
yes.
And I had to go back while I was writing it and dig through memories and dig through painful stuff that I had dealt with and had to dredge it all up and bring up all those emotions again. But the last editor that looked at it, she emailed me afterwards and she's like, "Thank you for writing that." She had recently, like 4 years before, found out similar circumstance. And she said that it helped her forgive her mother. And I was like, okay, God, thank you. There's my person. If nobody else is helped by it or whatever, I've got my one person. So, but I'm
Amazing.
hoping for more.
Yeah. The editor. Oh my gosh. That was
Yeah,
divine synchronicity. That was when God winks.
definitely.
That's
Yes.
amazing. So when did you come out with the book?
It came out October 21st of this year on my youngest
Okay.
sister's birthday.
Oh, how special. And how long did it take you
Yeah.
to write it?
Um, Roughly 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So what's next for you?
Well, I am currently finishing up a 100-day devotional that I'm about to turn into a publisher. And it's kind of a spinoff
Amazing.
of the Daddy Files. So,
Oh, that will be wonderful. What is Zen success to you?
that is an excellent question. It's when you're at peace with whatever. Success can mean anything to anybody. It doesn't have to mean being a multi-millionaire or billionaire or whatever. It can be something little, but as long as you're at peace and happy with it,
Hmm,
that's,
beautiful.
yeah.
Well, it's been such a pleasure getting to know you and hearing about your book, The Daddy Files. And I'll put your website and how to buy your
Yes.
book in the show notes. Thanks for being on my show today, Melissa.
Sure. Thanks. Oh, and if they want an autographed copy, they can get it through my website.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to give your website right now?
Sure. It's really difficult. It's melissajeanrod.com.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so
So,
much.
sure. Thanks so much for having me. I enjoyed it.
That's it for today's episode of Zen Success. Head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show and share with friends. Be sure to head on over to zensuccessshow.com to help you on your Zen success journey. And join us on the next episode. May you find your own Zen success in life.